Come see this thing 1577. Kessler's Pinocchios, Shrouded by Historical Injustice, Pressfield X Rowe. This is a series where I summarize rantatonne posts made up of at least 3 things I have read, seen, or heard. First question: what are the implications of literally believing that the mainstream media is unbiased? I find it good to remind myself occasionally that there are things that I believe, things that I think are true, things that I consider to be facts that other people believe are demonstrably false. Not that they're lying about it, not that they see things in a different way, but they see the same X that I have seen, and they see that, they read it, they hear it, they watch it, whatever. But to me, I'm like, okay, that's the true thing. And to them, that's entirely false. It's something about them that they actually believe it. And I think I witnessed that in the video that's highlighted in this section when Glenn Kessler, who used to work at the Washington Post, he was a head fact checker during the Pinocchios, he was having a conversation with Mark Halleprin, who also grew up in Bethesda, Maryland, which is a place where I went to middle school and high school. Kessler has been working for Washington Post, so he's been living in the DC, this is like DC suburbs, exurbs. But I remember going to school in West Virginia and be like, okay, these people are kind of backwards. Like, it's like small town West Virginia, they're in bubbles. Then I went back to Bethesda and was like, wait, these people in the city also have bubbles. Because that's just the way the world in general is. Regardless of the country, location, you live in a certain place, you live among certain people, you get certain beliefs. But one of the differences, I think, with places like here in Kenya, if you go to the village, even in Nairobi in general, in the countryside in West Virginia, is people are like, we're comfortable with knowing what we know about the places that we live. We don't really care about other places. One of the problems or the differences that I saw with places in Washington, D.C. and Bethesda, Maryland, some of these upper middle class sort of bubbles, is they think they know about the rest of the world. So in a way, their biases, their bubbles are even harder to break. Next question: is Gaza occupation too far for Bibi supporters? Well, Bibi Netanyahu has announced that Israel will occupy Gaza, which is not unexpected for people who have been watching and seeing how this whole operation Rising Lion has been going. Another one of those true things being false or false things being true is when you compare the different things that are happening in the Ukraine-Russia issue and then the Gaza-Israel issue. But back to this. There's a debate here from Zero Hedge with Dave Smith versus Alec Bernson in the Israel-Gaza war. It's just talking about different things. You really should watch it. There's one of the top comments was 2024, Joe Biden has the worst debate performance in history. 2025, Alex Berenson, hold my beer. And I think that is very accurate. Don't want to spoil most of it. Just check it out. Even just watch the first 5 minutes of it. And it's just, I'm just surprised that this man's brain can work in that way. And that's what I'm saying. He must believe certain things that I believe are demonstrably false to be true for him to act that way. And just, wow. Last question. What if resistance is the muse? In the previous section, what was happening with Alex Bernson is probably a situation where emotions and other considerations cloud how you believe, or you might say things that you don't necessarily believe, but you do truly, honestly believe it's the right thing to say due to other concerns. And I think with emotions, that also informed Sharon Osbourne, who said Ozzy Osbourne was like America's father. Rest in peace to Ozzy, but I don't necessarily think that fit. First, he's British. There's other things that don't go into that. But here in this section is Mike Rowe, who I do think is America's uncle. Might have seen him on Dirty Jobs, heard him narrating a whole bunch of things, but he also has a podcast, had author Stephen Pressfield on for a great conversation about ideas. And now I'm kind of considering watching The Legend of Bhagavad because he wrote it and he based it on the Bhagavad Gita somehow.